Here's something uncomfortable. The person you're trying to make regret losing you, they might be sleeping perfectly fine, eating well, laughing, posting memes like nothing happened. Meanwhile, you're over here replaying conversations from 3 months ago like it's a Netflix series you can't pause. Now, here's the twist. The difference between someone who gets forgotten and someone who becomes a permanent what if is not how much they cared, it's how they left. And if you get this wrong, you don't become unforgettable. You become a lesson they're glad they learned. Let's fix that. Section 1. Why people rarely feel regret. People love talking about regret like it's automatic. It's okay. They'll regret it. Will they? Because regret is not emotional charity. It's not something people give you because you were nice. Regret is uncomfortable. It challenges the story people tell themselves. And most people are very committed to protecting their own version of events. If they left you, disrespected you, or chose something else, their brain immediately starts working overtime to justify it. You weren't that great. It wouldn't have worked anyway. I can do better. Not because it's true, but because it's easier than admitting they messed up. So, if your plan is to sit around and wait for them to wake up one day and suddenly realize your value, you might be waiting longer than you think, unless something interrupts that narrative. Section 2. The biggest mistake is becoming too easy to forget. Let's talk about the mistake that quietly ruins everything. Overexposure after the ending. You're still liking their posts, still watching their stories, still responding casually when they text you at 1:13 a.m. with, "Hey." At this point, you're not a memory. You're a background app, always running, draining energy, but easy to ignore. And here's the harsh truth. People don't regret losing what still feels available. If they can still access your attention, your time, your emotions, they never experience the absence required to feel the loss. It's like leaving a room but keeping the door open and shouting, "Just in case you miss me, I'm right here." No one misses that. Section 3, the psychology of wait. Where did they go? Now, let's get into something interesting. Human beings are terrible with uncertainty. We can handle endings. We struggle with loose ends. When someone leaves dramatically, begs, argues, tries to explain everything, it gives closure. It wraps the story up neatly. But at least I know how they feel. But when someone leaves with calm detachment, no drama, no speeches, no emotional chaos. Just gone. It creates a psychological itch. Wait, was that it? Did I matter that little? Why aren't they reacting? And that question sticks. Because now, instead of you chasing them, their mind starts circling back to you. Section 4. Your glow up is not a performance. Let's address something you've probably thought about. I'll just level up, I'll glow up, I'll show them. Cool. But here's where people mess it up. They turn their growth into a show. Suddenly, everything is curated. Every post has a hidden message. Every win is slightly louder than necessary. You're not growing, you're broadcasting. And people can feel that. Real growth has a different energy. It's quieter, less desperate, more grounded. It's when you start improving your life in ways that don't require an audience. And ironically, that's when people start noticing. Not because you tried to be seen, but because you stopped trying so hard. Section 5, the upgrade they can't copy. Here's something funny. People think becoming more attractive, more successful, more interesting is what creates regret. It helps. But that's not the core. Because someone can always find another attractive person, another successful person, another interesting person. What they struggle to replace is how you made them feel when you were at your best. The way you understood them, the way you supported them, the way you showed up consistently. And here's the part that stings. They only realize the value of that after they experience the absence of it. You don't need to become someone else. You need to stop giving that version of you to the wrong people. Section 6, detachment is where the magic happens. Let's talk about detachment. Not the fake kind, not the I don't care, while secretly checking their last scene. Real detachment, the kind where your emotional center of gravity shifts back to you, where your day is no longer influenced by whether they texted, where your mood is not tied to their attention, where your life starts expanding again. New conversations, new opportunities, new focus. And something interesting happens here. When you genuinely detach, You stop trying to control the outcome, which means you stop chasing regret. And that's usually when it begins. Section 7. The delayed effect of regret. Regret rarely shows up immediately. Right after losing you, they might feel fine, maybe even relieved. Freedom feels exciting at first. But time has a way of revealing patterns. They start meeting new people. At first, it's fun. Then comparisons begin. This person doesn't listen like you did. They don't support me the same way. It feels different. And slowly, the narrative they built to justify losing you starts to crack. Not dramatically, quietly. That's how real regret works. It's not loud, it's persistent. Section 8. If they come back, don't lose yourself again. Now let's be real. Sometimes they come back, not always, but often enough. Curiosity turns into a message. A message turns into a conversation. And suddenly, the person who once walked away is standing at your door again. This is where most people undo everything. Because emotions rush back in, memories of comfort, familiarity. And before you know it, you're giving them the same version of you that they didn't value before. If nothing has changed, the outcome won't either. Regret is only meaningful if it leads to growth, not repetition. Section 9. The real endgame. Here's the truth that changes everything. Making someone regret losing you is not the goal. It's a side effect. The real goal is becoming someone who doesn't need that regret to feel validated. Because when you reach that point, you stop performing, you stop proving, you stop waiting, you just live. And that energy is rare. That's what makes people look back and think, yeah, I lost something there. One random day, they'll think about you. Could be while scrolling, could be while talking to someone new, could be at 2 a.m. when their brain decides to be dramatic. And they'll pause, not because you posted something, but because something feels missing. And here's the funny part. By the time that realization hits them, you're not sitting there waiting with a stopwatch. You've moved on, you've upgraded your life in ways that have nothing to do with them. So now, they're dealing with the what if, and you're busy living the what's next. If this shifted your perspective even a little, hit like, drop a comment. I want to hear your experiences. Subscribe for more honest videos like this. And share this with someone who's trying a little too hard to be missed. I'll be seeing you soon.